Hi, welcome to another Lewis Art video. I'm out with Mike again today. We've come to Westley Cricket Club. Now this is the cricket pitch behind. I'm pretty sure it's not private property. We've had a look around it. It's in beautiful condition. We're just going to go and park ourselves up in one corner and not make any mess at all, and then hopefully get a nice painting out for today. My mantra for today is going to be less is more, because I keep getting caught up with detail and fussing around with intricate little bits and pieces, and today I really want to try and keep away from that and try and just keep it cleaner and just clearer brush strokes. So we'll see how that pans out. So less is more is my mantra for today. Let's go and have a look at this beautiful cricket pitch. So Mike and I had a really nice walk around. There's plenty of really interesting views here, and I think probably picked out 5 or 6 potential compositions already. Certainly the church would be an interesting one to come back with. If you've seen any of my other videos, particularly the ones that I've done with Mike recently, when we've been on the other side of the water, you will have seen Westley Village and the church in the background of those. But this is us on this side today, so that's quite interesting, I suppose, for a bit of waffly. Well, it's been a few years since I played cricket. It's certainly been a few years since I played cricket here, and I only played up here once. But it's a beautiful pitch, and I don't know if you can just see him over there, but there he is. There's Mike over there getting himself set up. We're going to walk around and meet up with him there today. Again, this is just fantastic here. I really like the look of that clump of trees over there, but we're quite a distance away, and for today what I want to do is try and pick something out a little bit closer to start with something set in behind. You'll have a look at the composition that I've picked out when we get over with Mike, because we've had a walk around, we've made a plan, he's getting set up. I'm going to head over that way now. So we're nearing the end of the cricket season. I'm not sure how much cricket has been played, obviously, with lockdowns and bits and pieces that have gone on, but looks like there's been a bit of cricket here. Some of it's scuffed away. Let's have a closer look. Yeah, it's now a pretty green wicket. We're into September, so they may still well be playing up here, but it's quite green. Woohoo! And look at this amazing tree. Absolutely beautiful. It's gnarly. That's what that is. Gnarly. And there's Mike. Hi, Mike.
Hi.
So out over yonder, that's the Torridge there. That's on the other side is where we've set up and painted a few times, and yeah, so like I said, today we're looking across the other way, but I'm certainly not going to be focusing in on that bit there. But let's have a look. Let's have a chat with Mike and see what he's up to. Well, now I've got to put the camera on for that then. Look, Mike's just bought me a present. Oh, stationery store whiteboard set, just like he's using for his sketches. I'll be able to do the same today. Thank you, Mike. That's awesome. Brilliant. Just gotta slip it. It slips in the bag perfect, doesn't it? It's just like, it does, yeah, doesn't take up any space at all. No. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
The chicken, you say? Oh yeah, yeah. So that's the head. Yeah, it's pecking. It's pecking food. It's pecking it's having a drink actually out of the water from this angle. Right, Mike. What are you looking at?
Well, in the foreground, I'm thinking of this lovely tree.
Yeah.
It's a nice wide trunk and some quite interesting large branches going out to this side.
Yeah. So you're going to go down between on the right hand side of the tree, is that where or are you going to?
Well, I'm hoping to make the tree the centre of the thing, and but part of the composition in the background, I might enlarge the house that you see there, the French style house, and show a little bit of the Torridge there with the boat, and that clump of trees in front of the Torridge River there. I'm not going to put too much in. I just want to capture this tree in its environment, really. It sounds grand, and it's going to look awful, I expect.
Beautiful tree though, isn't it? Yeah. These trees are quite something. It's funny actually, I'm not far off from you actually. I'm going to just drop down a little bit further this way, and then so less of the tree in front, something like that, I think. So that's my plan. I'm going to go down from the tree in this side here, down the line of the fence. The house that Mike's talking about down there is like a rack and ruin house with the orange roof, a bit of water in behind, and then up through. That's kind of going to be my composition. I'm probably going to snap a photo when I'm happy, and then I guess get the easel out and crack on. So actually what I quite like about this composition is the overhang of this line of the tree here. So I'm going to try and get that in. Yeah, something like that, I think. So there's an overhang there, a line across there, a horizontal line across there. I'm going to look at bigger shapes, and I'm going to think about, again, like I said, less is more. So I'm going to think about reducing the detail, particularly back there, and just having a few dabs of colour rather than trying to get intricate. Yeah, let's go for it. Let's go for it. So in the back I've got my brush cleaner, liquid, rubber gloves, palette knives, some tissues to wipe in the brushes with, and my trusty old brush holder made from a cocoa unsweetened coconut milk tub. Brilliant, look at that. Holds the brush and everything. Let's have a look at the paints. So my paints today are ultramarine blue, viridian green, permanent alizarin crimson, burnt sienna, yellow ochre, cadmium lemon hue, and titanium white. So today's canvas is a Crawford & Black canvas board, 100% pure cotton, double gesso primed, although I have put another coat of gesso on there. Suitable for oils, 10 inch by 12. Just a thin wash of burnt sienna. Whilst that's drying, I'm going to use my new sketchboard that Mike's bought me and have a go at sketching out the composition. So looking down and through, what I'm thinking is I've got the tree trunk on this side here, just on the other side of the fence. It's got a bit of a curve there, so I'm going to pretty much just have that in there, and then there's a little branch there, and then it goes up and around. So this green is going to be the overhang. I've tried to give it as much of a gap as possible in here, and then you've got the backdrop back in there, the green of the trees in front here, a little bit of the blue water just in there, more of the trees, and then down in here, I did draw it in, there it is, down in here is the house, which just sits there, and I might bring that up a little bit more. That's actually quite central, that house, so I might just tip it over to one side a little, just under that tree perhaps, just before that drop of water. So that will be the focal point today. The line of the fence is going away from it quite a bit, so I might just angle that across a little bit more, just bringing your eye up to it, and then run that across. So your eye runs in across this line here with the slope of the green, into here, up here, into here, across here. It's all sort of put in there, and this is sort of just sheltering it off here with a bit of blue in there. That's the plan. Oh, it looks pretty complicated when you look at it like that, but remember today, less is more. So I'm just working off of this flat wash again to start with. I'm gonna get some ultramarine blue, a little bit of burnt sienna, a little bit of the red, which I can't remember, a little bit of alizarin crimson, so get a darker mark going off to start with, and sort of look for some shapes, bigger shapes. So not so much not intricate shapes, but bigger shapes in there that I can mark in. So that's the first bits done, sort of looking at the darkest darks, which is pretty much the tree in front of us, a little bit of area under the tree, and then those mid-ground trees that we can see there around the house. That's down there. They're pretty much the darker bits, and then these overhang of leaves, which I'm going to sort of look at, sort of just marking in next, and then I'll think about the sky, I think. So Mike, you've changed your composition.
Yes, I'm afraid so. I was finding that too difficult. There was just too many things to concentrate on. And there were some really difficult angles in that lovely tree. Some of the trunks sort of foreshortens as they come closer, and others go in different directions, corkscrew around. I was finding that difficult, so I've turned 90 degrees, and I've got this tree in front of me, which has got a shape that I can appreciate.
Yeah.
It's a standard sort of tree, I guess, that with a nice thick trunk that goes up quite a way, with some really big branches coming off to left and right and all ways. And then in the background I've got a drive which goes to Takeley Park, and which cuts a nice line through. So I'm going to make the most I can from it.
Yep, and you've gone with the same strategy of the sort of blacking out underneath first as a wash.
Yep.
And then so that's your darkest dark sort of, and then building in.
That's it.
Light from there.
Yes.
Brilliant. Okay, enjoy.
Thank you.
Oh dear, a little bit of rain in the air. Hopefully not too much. We do have the cricket pavilion that we can shelter in, so it isn't the end of the world, but it is just coming down there, which is slightly unfortunate. So for the sky today, I'm going to use some ultramarine blue. I'm also going to just grab a bit of titanium white and a tiny little bit of lemon hue at the end there, and then I'm just going to mix those through, so there'll be a stronger white there, and then down the end there we'll have a slightly greener blue white, which will be down the bottom. So that's the plan. Let's see where we go with that. So the rain has come, Mike's off. I think I'm going to have to join him, and maybe it's lunchtime, and we'll hope for it to improve again in a minute. I was just really trying to get this bit of white done before it disappeared, but it is definitely getting a little bit more blustery out here, and it probably is time to just quickly dash and join Mike. So there we go, still with the idea that less is more. I'm leaving that alone. Now I'm going to bring in, have a look at these these trees, or do I put the water in first? Maybe I put the water in first and then have a look at the trees around it. So the rain continues to fall. Mike sensibly has stayed in shelter. I, on the other hand, have decided I needed to come back out and line up with my painting. Mike's is in line with his painting, he's just further away, so he's quite happy in the shelter. I wish I had an umbrella and a coat. I do have a hat, that's something, but obviously it is getting a bit wetter. Raining, it's pouring, the old man is snoring, he went to bed and all that sort of stuff. And now there's water all over the oil pags. So to ensure that I stay in line with the painting whilst I'm doing that mid area, I've brought myself in under, so there is a little bit more shade here, under the tree. That's just stopping me from getting completely soaked whilst I work out that sort of line of trees in here, and take a look at that little barn, house, whatever it is down there. So poodling along, what I've done is I've darkened in the dark bits, then I'm going to go in again with a green in here that's the dark green, and then over the top with a little bit of light green. I've marked in the place for the barn house thing down there, and then it'll be green, lighter green, a lot lighter green in there, and then even lighter green across the front here. Yeah, it's going okay. I'll just keep chipping away. So shooting along for a minute. Yeah, it's okay. Did I say that more than once? I probably did, yeah. I'm gonna try and do something with the tree. This is gonna be a problematic area, I think. What's the time? Not long left, unfortunately. I'm going to pretty much leave everything bar the tree. I'm gonna try and get the color in a little bit closer. Maybe add in some green in those that mid section, because I've basically wiped it out, ready to go. The house will probably need a little bit of tidying up, but yeah, I'm sort of closing in. I'm going to step back so I can see the tree for the last 10 minutes. So time is running out, so I thought, well, I better dash over and check out Mike's painting. How do you feel about it, Mike?
Well, I'm relatively happy. It's not turned out exactly the way I hoped it would do, but that to some extent was due to the fact that I'd moved 100 yards away from where I started.
Yeah.
And what looks like blossom on the tree, if you can imagine the tree there, is supposed to be light.
Yes. No, I'm looking through the camera actually, and on the smaller screen where you can't see it looks like light.
Well, the fact is there's so much paint on there now that it's where I tried to apply light afterwards, rather than before I laid the leaves and various things on. It's got a bit muddy, but I'm hoping that perhaps I might be able to do something once it's dry.
Yeah. Spend a bit more time on it.
I mean, it's not what I was looking at originally, but a lot of it I've done from remembering, well, trying to remember what was there.
Yeah.
And eventually just trying to make some sort of scene. I'm reasonably happy with the tree.
Yeah.
The trunk of the tree, although...
Is that yellow ochre that you've got in your tree?
Yeah, it is.
Because that works really well. That's really pulled out that colour.
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely. It's really warmed it up.
But I must admit, I thought, what am I going to do with all those leaves? And I certainly wasn't going to count them. So I've splodged on a lot of different shades of green and blue and yellow.
Yeah.
And as I said, unfortunately I've applied the clear areas afterwards, and that hasn't worked.
Well, it's one of the hardest things to do, I think, isn't it? Getting those bits between the tree.
Yes.
I struggle with it. I don't know whether you just wait till it's dry and then you apply cleaner, lighter colours, but then it looks, I guess, it looks better from a distance, but sometimes that looks really odd close up, doesn't it?
Yes.
And I really struggle with that idea that actually you can apply light over the top in those sort of gaps and those areas.
Yeah.
And it does look okay from a distance, and it will, from a normal viewing point. Because and Mike's just gone back to have a look.
Actually, right back here, it doesn't look so odd.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying, because through the camera lens at the moment, where it's a smaller screen, so you're not picking up the brush strokes, you can't see it, and I think that's the challenge, isn't it? I don't know. I mean, there's probably a better way of doing it, but I don't know what that is. Yeah, if you get enough of it in early, then it's there, and you can paint around it, but inevitably you're going to end up blending back in, so you've always got to put some lighter colour back over at some point, I think.
But stepping back now, I mean, it gives the illusion of light.
Yes.
But at the same time, I can actually see the tree, and they're just masses of areas of light coming through the leaves.
Yeah, there's almost more in the midsection. There's almost more light than there is tree.
Absolutely. So I think I might try later adding a few more smaller points of light through the tree.
Brilliant. Yeah, basically what I'm doing is I'm marking bits in. So the orange roof is too orange, but I've just put it there, and it's actually quite steep. And I've rubbed away where I'm going to do the green of the trees, because I'm thinking about time now.
I think, I mean, the basics are there. It's a great composition, and you've got the way that you've kept the land low behind has given it real distance. I think.
Yes.
So,
that's definitely an
which
improvement.
has really helped these areas here, I think.
So, at this point, it's one of those, isn't it? Time for coffee? Right, hang on. And cue music. Okay, here we go. Cheers.
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 We did that at the same time. It was brilliant. It's like we planned that. I love it. All I really want to do now is get this grey right, but grey doesn't work for me, and that's quite red now.
If you mix that blue and what's that, umber there?
Yeah.
Mix those two together and just a little bit of white.
Yeah.
See what happens there.
All right, here we go. I'm going to do it just in here because it's probably the best spot for the camera. So blue. Quite nice and dark.
And you need it really dark, and then you just want to put a little dash of that onto the white.
Okay.
Right. No, yeah.
So that way around.
Too brown, so you need some more blue in there.
Yeah.
So you've got a grey.
It's coming, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
You need more blue, I think.
Yeah, that's looking pretty grey. I wonder what that looks like against the tree.
Do you think that's there, do you?
Well, I don't know. Once you start looking at it, I can't tell if that's lighter or... It's not bad actually, is it?
No, it's not foul.
So, what I'm going to try and do is... Again, I'm using this flat brush and I'm going to not do too much. I just want to... It doesn't come out. It's odd.
You're looking great.
But it's got, yeah, it's the right, it's a better colour. Ah, that's better.
Tree.
Yeah, it's so true. Why should I pull that? Don't know now. I think I've lightened it up, haven't I?
Yeah, but that's okay. I think the tree is light in places and it's given it texture.
Yeah, that's not looking too bad, is it? So something like that. So take this one out, take this line out a bit. It's become a bit extreme. So I think I'll work on that for a little bit, and then I think that'll probably do. Pack away, back in the studio, have a look, see how we are. Yeah, let's do that. So you like finish painting? I guess there's a point where you just have to stop. I mean, you can keep going, and maybe that's what I could do here. But few things that I've done since I got back to the studio. Tried to define these trees a little bit more, bring the green in, but also just give them slightly better shape. I've greened out the backdrop a little bit more, added in lighter green, brought the stripes into the field to give it that perspective. Initially the green would have just ran across all the way across there, but what I wanted to do was bring out the lighter colour here in the building, so I darkened around the edge of it just to kind of help it to come out a little bit more. And I think with the composition, my aim was to get you following the line in down to here where there's a little bit of the red roof, and the whole thing kind of brings you back around to here. This is interesting because Mike and I were talking about bringing in more light in between the tree, and so I've tried to do that here, and varying success, I guess. Just looking at this line here, I think that's where the branch should be, so it's kind of like, well, you messed that up a little bit, but it's given that impression, hasn't it, of the tree and the light through the tree. So I'm quite pleased with that. This is quite bunched up still, but going back to my mantra, less is more. I've tried to be cleaner. I've tried to do just more, just brush strokes rather than blending, particularly in the tree. And I think it places its works. Again, it feels like my style is slowly pulling itself together, and bit by bit I'm sort of finding and feeling my way into oil paints. It's still really hard and I'm spending a lot of time fussing around, but I think slowly but surely I'm growing into my own style of painting, and I think that's, this is quite a pleasing outcome. And again, slightly bigger canvas has helped. So yeah, all in all, pretty good. So I'm gonna leave it there. So as always, thanks for watching. Thanks to Mike for coming out with me again. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye. So signing off. See you later. Arrivederci. See you later, alligator. Goodbye. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this or any of my other videos, there are a number of ways you can support me in the future. Like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. And now you can even donate on my Buy Me a Coffee page. As you can see from my new videos, I love coffee. But your donation will do more than just keep me full of caffeine. Every donation will go straight into buying new art materials for future projects, so your help will be truly appreciated. It's easy to use. Simply follow the link and you can donate as little as £2 to help out. Feel free to leave a comment, and there's even a link to my website. Your support really does go a long way to helping me to create more art in the future. Thanks.